So guys, we're out here on the Hunter Classic once again, and today we finally get to hunt with the 30-06 Forest Camo. So this was the reward for winning the Summer Fiesta event about a year ago, I think, and I've wanted it ever since then. When I saw the camo pattern and the fact that it's a 30-06, I really wanted it because I like the 30-06. It's a great gun, and the camo pattern looks really good, but unfortunately I was not able to win the comp, and I've been waiting ever since. And I know some people aren't going to be happy because it is just a reskin, and that's all well and good. I'm just happy to have it in my hands. And I've just fast traveled up here to the tower in the north, and we got a female Feral Hog and a mule deer doe coming in. We're going to try to get them both. If we shoot the mule deer first, the hogs usually run in a pretty straight line, and they don't obviously bounce like the mule deer do. So if we shoot this one first, and then we can swing around and try to get the hog. Alright, I'll actually put the scope down. That'll be a little easier, and let's see if we can get lined up on this. Got one hit. There we go. Alright, that's probably the best feature of the 30-06. If you don't have any of the 30-06s and don't know really anything about them, it's one of the fastest firing guns in the game. And honestly, it looks like they changed the metal finish a little bit. I'm going to grab the other 30-06 and compare it quick. Actually, I know they did because the other one looks very beat up. This is a lot more clean and new looking, and I like that. But I'll still get the other one out and compare it in a second. So we actually had brain and 2 neck bones on this mule deer doe. That's a somewhat decent shot, and that is one 30-06 lever action rifle Forest Camo Harvest. And we'll go and grab the other one. But yeah, as I was saying, the 30-06 in my opinion is somewhat underrated. It's got a lot more power than a lot of people I think give it credit for, but we've got so many other weapons now in the game like the 9.3 and even the 30R that are more powerful. So I wouldn't say the 30-06 gives you an advantage over them. If you already own them, I wouldn't say you need the 30-06 for any reason. Like I said, I've wanted this gun for over a year, and I'm just finally glad to get to hunt with it today. So let's see where we hit this Feral Hog. First shot was a little bit far forward, I think shoulder blade and skull, and then we got it intestine and left lung on the second one. So I'm going to go back to the tent while we can do it and get the other 30-06 just to compare like the metal finish, because I just realized that when I was looking at it, this one looks a lot more clean. So I've got both 30-06s. Looking at the new camo one, you can see the metal's really clean and not scratched, but if I get out the old one, you can see it's all like scratched up and really rough looking. So I like the clean new look on this Forest Camo one. I just realized that and I was like, oh, that looks really nice. So just wanted to compare it because it's actually been a while since I've used the old 30-06, but I've got the Forest Camo crossbow in case we have anything that we need to take with the bow, so I'll just switch back to that and we'll continue on. We've actually got a somewhat decent mule deer buck here, 182-205, and we should probably take him out before he spooks because I'm not really covered at all here, though I do have the field camo on. So he is down, and now I think we get to do what I've actually been wanting to do with this Forest Camo 30-06, and that is pretty much just take a trophy shot and just, I'm probably going to do the Serene, I think it's called, where the gun's actually laying on the animal, because that's like the biggest reason that I've been wanting to use this gun, because I think it's going to look so good like that. I don't think this guy is quite going to hit 200 because he's got one low tine, but he's big enough for sure for a trophy shot. He is a 190.9, so actually I don't think he was 200 either way, but double lung shot at 35 meters, and let's take that trophy shot. It took forever, but we finally do have a pretty decent looking trophy shot. The sun's not perfect, but with the way that the hill is, I couldn't get the gun to actually lay on the buck unless we have it like this. So he's got one tine shadow over his head, but I quite like that. It looks pretty good, and we will continue on. I had a 85 to 100 kilogram whitetail track, and it is going to be an hour old, but it is right over here. Luckily, that was the last track I picked up because I took so long in that trophy shot. By now, I think it would be disappeared. But let's track that down and see if he's anything decent. That is definitely not a bad-looking whitetail. 150 to 175, and he's probably in the 160s area. So let's get the 30-06 ready. I want to get him potentially in the sun. We're kind of close to the sun there. So I think if he takes a few more steps, I'll try to drop him while he's walking, because that mule deer trophy shot wasn't ideal. So let's go ahead and go for this. He is down, and like I said, I think he's in the 160s area, but I wanted a better trophy shot since that mule deer was off to the side a little bit. The shadow was going over his head. I wanted to try it here on the level, and I don't even know if I got him enough in the sun. I think we'll be able to do something a little bit to the left of where he's down, but let's pick him up and see what he scores first. He definitely doesn't look too bad. 158, so not quite what I thought, but let's see if we can get a better trophy shot of this guy than the mule deer. So unfortunately here, the butt of the gun gets buried in the ground if I go for that trophy shop post. I decided to do one I almost never do, and go with the Deer Hunter. I think it looks quite nice. Unfortunately, I'm not showing the gun off too much, but I like the trophy shot, so I wanted to go with it. So we've had some fun with our Camo 30-06 on Loggers Point, and I decided to come here to Vaudebois for a bit of red deer and maybe brown bear hunting. Brown bear was one of the species that I always had more luck with the 30-06 than any other weapon, just with my ability to drop them. I have no idea why that is, but it's always been the case for me. But we do have a red deer stag here, 145 to 170. So we'll just drop him there, go and grab him, and continue on. I'll probably just go up the river. That tends to be what I do here in Vaudebois, and it usually comes with a bit of luck. There's something else over there on the bank. I think it's a fox. And unless it's big, I'm going to leave that because that is not something I can shoot with the 30-06, so I'm not too worried about that. What was this red deer's weight? 205 to 220, so that was the one I had. The tracks from earlier, so let's just grab him and move on. 165 score, got him in the right lung and intestine. I don't know how he missed liver and stomach, but regardless, he dropped. And we've got another red stag, a little better than the last one, maybe around 200. I have to actually crouch up to get a shot, so let's go for that before he spooks. I want to quickly get the score estimate, 185 to 210. And he is down. And by the way, if you don't know this, unless the animal is literally right on top of you, if they're walking, they pretty much will never spook. That's why I took the time to spot that guy and see his score estimate. I knew I'd be fine to spot him because he was walking. So that's one thing about bow hunting as well. If you can, if you're hunting with a vertical bow and you're laying prone, wait till they start walking, then get up and draw back, because you're pretty much set to be drawn back before they spook. But anyway, we did get this guy in both lungs and a 194 score. I thought he would top 200, but still not too bad. And we've got yet another pretty average red stag here, 180 to 205, which is like the same score estimate from the last one, but I think this guy actually is in the 180s, maybe 190 if we're lucky. And he is down. It's always fun to hunt with guns that you haven't hunted with in a long time, and of course this one at least looks different, and actually, like I said earlier, I really like the look of it, so I don't know. All the guns in this game are pretty effective, but the 30-06, like I said earlier, is rather underrated in my opinion. But let's see what this guy scores. 183 and another double lung shot at 19 meters, so I'm hoping we start running into brown bear soon. We should be getting more into brown bear territory as we move along the river. So basically we've got a choice between a female brown bear or one of the most pathetic red stags I've seen, so I think we'll take the bear. And now that I've said at some point that I can generally drop brown bear better with the 30-06 than other weapons, I'm sure that I'll somehow mess this up and not drop it, but let's go for it. That's somewhat of a decent range, I would say, for the 30-06. And as expected, not dropping, so I'm hoping we got a single lung. It shouldn't be going too much further if that's the case, although it is. Never mind. I was just going to say it is still running. It did go down. I tend to find that the brown bear hitboxes, and maybe it's just me, it seems like the vitals are very crunched up towards the front, so you almost have to shoot through the front leg to get into the lung, so I don't know if the penetration stopped or if I still aimed a bit too far back, but we'll see when we get to it. And it was in fact lung blood, so I would say it was a single lung. I wonder if we hit the shoulder blade then and couldn't penetrate, or maybe it was just the range even. That was the reason we didn't penetrate through both lungs, because I don't think it would have ran that far with a double lung shot. It was just single at 135 meters, so whether it was the angle or the range, we couldn't quite penetrate through both, but it was pretty much perfectly broadside, so I would say, unless we aimed right behind the shoulder, I don't think we could have gotten the double lung there. We've actually got a somewhat decent road deer out here, 120 to 170. He is definitely spooked from me heading through here, so let's just see if we can get him there. There's a bit of brush there, but that should be fine. Actually, that's even better if he'll just keep walking there. He is down. That may have even been a heart shot. I kind of started drifting downwards, but even with a body shot on the road deer, they're not going to go far, so wouldn't really matter too much. I've never seen this before. Check out the reflection in the water. That is completely purple. I have no idea what's causing it. I've never at least noticed that there's any kind of purple in the water reflection before. I don't know if it's always been there and I've never noticed, or if something's changed, but that's somewhat interesting. Anyway, here's our roe deer buck. It was a double lung shot, so a little over the heart. 158 score, though, not a bad roe deer. So I've just come up here to ibex country to try to end with maybe a decent ibex, and this is here. So why not get it a free rock ptarmigan harvest? Eventually, I probably will be doing a rock ptarmigan road to 100, so might as well get one more in advance to that. And actually, that's a somewhat decent one, 586. is definitely not bad. Well, I think that is just about what we are looking for. That's a pretty good looking Ibex. 200 to 260 score estimate, and I would definitely say he's on the upper end of that, so somewhat decent range shot. It shouldn't be a problem for the 30-06. Let's see if we can get him, if he will stop, and hopefully not behind that rock. There we go, that should be about perfect. Probably a shoulder blade hit. I wouldn't say he's going to go more than a few more steps, and he is down right there. So let's go see what we've got. Unfortunately, he's in the shadow of the mountain, so it's not going to be a great trophy shot because no sunlight, but I'm definitely looking forward to see what he scores. Definitely some pretty good looking curls on this guy, and yeah, just a little high. I would definitely say I got him in the shoulder blade. And that was the case, but he is a 239 scoring Ibex. I think a perfect way to end our hunt with the new Forest Camo 30-06. So unfortunately, once again, the Serene trophy shot pose is not going to work. For this, pretty much with the hill, the gun is just floating, but I think this still looks pretty good, showing off the nice camo print on the gun. But yeah, like I said, getting to hunt with an old caliber that I've hunted with a lot in the past, and even with a new skin, I quite enjoyed it. I think I have over 500 kills with the old 30-06, so it's definitely nice to get to use that again. We might have like the 9.3 and the 30R now that are probably better overall, but the 30-06 definitely still does its job. So with that, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like if you did, and I'll see you in the next one.